Introducing Nose to Tail, a podcast where we explore the world of aviation lifecycle solutions, insights, and more. Presented by Jet Midwest.
Welcome to MRO Americas here in Chicago. I'm here with Ryan from AvDUCT. We're going to have a little conversation about all things aviation. So Ryan, hopefully you're having a good show so far.
Absolutely, it's been busy.
Perfect. Maybe start with a little background, how you got in the business and really what that last 25 years has looked like for you.
Okay, well, 1997, I think it was. Maybe you guys' year, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to go to work for this company, so I've been working with the same guys since that day, Leo Aliman and Art Cantlin running the shop. So all of us and a team of about 22 have been doing ducts, tubes, and manifolds consistently for 25 years, and the expansion of just taking on like now the A320, the 777, the 787's coming down. So anything ducts, tubes, and manifolds, we definitely take care of it.
So did you start your career as a mechanic or a technician?
Actually, I started in the shipping and receiving department.
Okay.
Yeah, and just slowly got opportunities, and the good Lord gave me an opportunity to take the next step, and a guy transitioned out, and that spot was open, and the owner of the company had trust in me and gave me that responsibility, which was customer service and sales. And then I had the opportunity to fly to U.S. Airways and land a repair contract with a team of guys from AvDUCT. So we did that together, and then another person transitioned out of aviation into another field, and that opened up where I'm at now, which is just director of repairs.
Very good. So, I know in a lot of the dialogues we've had over the years, you have quite a bit of technical expertise for not being a technician or an engineer by trade. What do you attribute that to?
To be honest with you, it's the guys that I've been in aviation with that have been there. So, for instance, our new quality manager, who was the production manager, he was a Navy mechanic. So there's Leo and Rick and Scott and a few other guys there that their whole background is aviation. And so when I got inundated with those guys, I had the opportunity to work with those guys. I just picked up everything that they were showing me and teaching me along the way, and then just been able to retain it, you know what I mean, and just grow from it. And really, I studied service bulletins, and I started reading maintenance manuals as fast as I could. And I was cutting my teeth on those after hours, truth be known. So I was reading engine manuals and trying to understand it because I got an opportunity to start quoting the parts. And then I really wanted to know the ins and outs of the whole thing. I really wanted to understand it so I could have a conversation with the customer so they had confidence that we understood it from the front to the back. And so that's kind of how I started just reading those manuals and getting really comfortable with them.
Well, certainly hard work usually pays off in this business. It's what I've experienced certainly in my career, and I think a lot of people here at MRO probably have that same experience. In fact, a lot of shops, right, it's a mechanic who says, hey, I see a niche right here, and I'm going to go attack that with some energy and go start serving customers.
Right.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Yeah.
25 years later, you got a big mega company, and that's pretty awesome. So are there some things that you guys do specifically, either DER repairs or some very specialty items? Certainly you have a unique genre, but is there something you guys do particularly better or that you've integrated that make you guys stand out?
So from the beginning, we sat around and really just trying to think tank the whole situation with the turn times. So this industry is driven by turn times. And so what product could we do and consistently turn within 12 business days? So it's 12 days or better, really. And so we wanted to focus on that and what kind of operation could we do efficient-wise where it comes in the shop, goes right into the clean bay, right into NDT, right through welding, back to final, and then go through the whole process. Facility that we're in now, we specifically built for us in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we've been doing ducting for 25 years, and the efficiency of us is down to about 12 days, 12 turnaround time. And so that's probably what's helped us more than anything is getting you guys taken care of quickly so you can get to your end user and say, okay, hey, we're back in the air. Here we go. We're back in the air. AvDUCT's ready to ship, and you guys feed us the drop shipment instructions now. So used to, a few years ago, really, everybody was still wanting to ship their own product after we got completed. And now there's a whole lot of pressure on us to drop ship it directly to their end user. So for whatever reason, this industry has moved in that direction, and we've followed suit, and we've supported 100% in that too.
Yeah, we've really seen the same thing from, really a trend that happened similarly in 2008, 9, and 10, where the airlines were trending away from carrying so much inventory, and all of a sudden they were relying more and more on the aftermarket to have tagged units ready to go, which led to AOG challenges, right? Now all of a sudden I have to rely on someone else. I don't mega company like a Delta or United right, we used to have just massive amounts of inventory, and they got rid of all that off their books and tried to rearrange that. And we've kind of had the same cycle happen in what I'm experiencing post-COVID, where they're saying, okay, we don't need to carry this. We can find vendors who will carry this for us. So what you're doing by drop shipping and creating that is you've taken 2 days away from that lead time that we would have to deliver something to a client. It gives you a little bit more time to make sure it's gold plated and allows us to still deliver on time because we saved that time frame. So that's really good. So how did you land on the number of 12 days? Was there a target put out? And where did it start at? I'm curious on that journey. How did you get this thing to drive down?
Well, okay, so when we first started, one of our major competitors was running 18 to 21 days. And when we met with a few airlines to do a repair contract with them, they really were driving 14. And if we could beat 14, then it would open us up for extra on the actual repair contract. So there would be more of an incentive and there would be a volume opportunity there for us. So 14 was the number to beat. 18 was the number they were currently accepting from their previous repair vendor. And so 14 was what we agreed upon. And then we figured out with the product that we service, we could get it down to 12. 12 is good. You basically get 2 production weeks out of it, and then it's time to ship. And so that's kind of where we've landed, is 12. We've been consistent with it. One thing that's great about our shop is everybody there loves to be there. We have a really good unity of a team atmosphere there where we're all wanting that product to go out and be perfect and never come back under any kind of a warranty circumstance at all. And so that's what drives us, is get that product out there because it establishes our reputation, and the whole team, we're all together. I may be a single guy sitting here, but there's a whole group of people behind me, great people that help make this what it is. AvDUCT, 25 years solid, and now we're back-to-back best ducting repair for 2023 and 2024. So people have voted and they've spoken like, hey, that's a great shop, you know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's certainly something you should be boasting about because there's an awful lot of competition out here. And certainly, I know for us, finding those elite vendors that we can just lean on, no offense, lean on you sometimes the hard way, right? But sometimes we got to lean on you because we really have to perform. As you said, really that lead time really does drive a whole lot of success in what we're doing.
Amen.
Now, we talked a little bit before we started today. We talked a little bit about supply chain, and certainly I've seen some OEM challenges at the component level where they either don't have the subcomponents or they're just lacking behind in the actual manufacturing and production of those repair parts. Have you guys experienced that, and what's sort of your perception of how AvDUCT is approaching the solution maybe to that supply chain challenge?
Well, it's an excellent question, and it's true, and it's an absolute fact right now in this industry that the OEMs have a backorder issue on piece parts to support repairs in a number of areas. Whether it be the manufacturer in France or the manufacturer in Seattle, Washington, who's making airplanes, both of them are in the same boat in that regards. We've got a gentleman there that runs our purchasing department. You know him very well, Leo Aleman. He goes and buys full ship sets of ducts for us. And we don't resell them, but what we do is we bring them into the facility and we offer quick exchange programs on that so we can avoid an obsolescence issue that the OEM has and has had since COVID, really. There's been 2 major emergencies that have affected the United States of America and the world for that matter, really, but that has really taxed the supply chain. And we tried to get in front of both of those issues when they happened. The second one was COVID. COVID messed it all up in a lot of ways, and so the only way for us to avoid those issues was to get full ship sets and start offering quick exchanges. Because if you physically didn't have the piece parts from the OEM to support the repair, then you had to focus on the exchange that you had in order to take care of the customer and get them back up in the air, and that's how we did that. And he runs that whole program. He's an ace at it. He's been doing it for a very long time. We've been working together for 20 some odd years together, and he's sharp as a tack on that. So we just get in front of that. So as soon as we bid the repair contract, those part numbers go into that database. He looks at that whole situation. He buys accordingly. He gets in front of all of that. And now we're 2 or 3 exchanges deep in those high use items. The ones that can really bring down a plane where it's grounded and it can't move and it needs this part or that part, those are the ones we focused on. So
that's good. So really capturing some good data, probably both customer data as well as your own internal data to come up with a solution. I like that. We spend a lot of energy at Jet Midwest. We drill down our data from everywhere.
Yeah.
Anytime we can get our hands on some of our internalized or externalized data, we're putting that into a big bucket, trying to make good decisions on what to repair, what to overhaul, what not to repair. It's probably a big decision that we make a lot of, where we go, hey, let's just not repair this. My customer will just have to live with a lead time because it's not practical to put it out there, whether it's a cost matrix or not. So is that all internal developed stuff that Leo did?
It is for the most part, yeah. So when we bid these repair contracts, the series of part numbers and the frequencies of their forecast, so an airline will share this with you and say, oh, we do 16 of those a year. Okay, so we're going to bid 16 a year, so we know we're going to get 16 a year or plus some. For the most part, it's usually heavy than that, whatever that number was. So he'll look that whole situation out. So as soon as we bid it from my department, the repair department, we transfer it over to him. He looks at it from a purchasing aspect on supply chain issues and says, okay, well, we've got enough in the stockroom to do this many parts, and then we need this many rotable exchanges on hand. And so he'll reach out to you and say, hey, Patrick, let me buy a whole ship set from you guys, and then that alleviates that issue. So the 777 is what we've been focused on lately, and some of that A320 stuff, just because some of those panels coming out of Airbus or whatever, there's lead times are a little long right now. And so we're looking at that. He looks at all of that data, and then he brings it all together, and then we all meet together and we give him what we know, he gives us what he knows, and then we work with production. That's Art Cantlin. He gives us what he knows on everything. And so right now we're spraying the gold ducting on the BMS 1082 coating. So we're doing all of that. So you buy that by the ounce like gold. So the day you cut the purchase order, the day they ship it is whatever the cost of gold is that day, that's what you pay. And we spray that on the ducting per the Boeing engineering, so it prolongs the life of the duct. So we've had to get in front of that, because when you lay out a purchase order for gold, that's expensive.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so.
So I've always wondered, I've yet to be to visit your place. I should come down, especially should come down after you buy the 777 ducts.
Yeah.
Because I remember delivering the 757 ship sets of ducts, and every years ago I could put the poor guy in shipping, receiving, the quality guys, well, what the hell is all this? It was just truckloads of stuff just stacked in.
Oh, yeah. He loves it. He loves it. When he comes to you guys' place, he loves it, man. He brings back all kinds of good stuff, and we're just smiling ear to ear, because now we know there's nothing we can't overcome, because we've got the asset that can help us support the repair. So
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, the last time I remember going through the building with him, and he just was on a shopping spree. We literally had a guy following him with a pallet box that was empty, and we were like, I'll take that, and I'll take that. We'll do this. We'll put it all on the table. We just sat and negotiated the deal. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Those are some of the more enjoyable times in aviation, right? When you just get in, I'm just going to be a cowboy, and we're just going to figure this thing out. And again, he knows his business well enough, and some of it he was just like speculating. He's like, we've had problems with these flanges before, and these look clean. I'm going to buy these, and just spec bought them. He didn't have any opportunities on them, and I can appreciate that too from a guy who hoards an awful lot of aircraft parts.
Yeah.
I can appreciate him having a discerning eye. On
we
those things.
We lean on him heavy, big time, because and that does get us out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because when a repair comes down, and I'm doing the quoting part of it with the phone conversation, I'm trusting him. I lean on him heavy, because whatever I say on the phone is like, we can turn it in 7 days, but we don't know what's broken yet. So he's really got to have the whole asset on hand. I mean, really, the flanges, the bosses, the brackets, all that stuff. He's really got to have a handle on all that, because when I say, oh yeah, we'll do it in 12 days, bring it in or whatever, we don't know what's broken yet. So when it comes in, it could be something odd, you know what I mean? It could be a chafe where an alignment issue happened, where now you've worn into a doubler that could be off the beaten path, you know what I mean? So then him and Art will attack that, come up with a repair plan, and then boom, I'm communicating back with you guys on the phone saying, we got you covered, you'll have it in 12 days.
Nice.
Yeah.
The more and more maintenance we do on airplanes at Jet Midwest, the more frequently I'm sitting with the airplane looking at some of the non-routines that get written up, and you're absolutely correct, where it's just some sort of random thing. No one's ever seen it before, but you inspect and hey, I got to pull this thing and find a solution for whatever kind of damage it is, or to remove and replace.
Right.
Which is even worse, right? We want to be able to repair and get it back on wing.
We'll continue this discussion on the next episode of Nose to Tail, a podcast presented by Jet Midwest. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to our channel.